Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zara Livia and I'm from Group A and my student number is 1040300354. Are our member, myself, Zahra Livia, Anastasia, Nanda, and Surati.
Everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Anastasia, or you can call me Anas. I'm part of Group A, and my student number is 104012300027. And okay, I will explain about the overview of OCBC NESP or PT Bank OCBC NESP TBK. And OCBC founded in 1941, OCBC NESP is one of the oldest and most established private bank in Indonesia, and it operates under the ownership of OCBC Bank Singapore since 2008. As of 2024, the bank ranks 8 in Indonesia by total asset with over 280 trillion in asset and 2,000 branch office and more than 605,000 employees nationwide. And next is I will explain about the backgrounds. The backgrounds of the the backgrounds and study purpose. The banking industry plays a critical role in economic growth, but it vulnerable to macroeconomic and digital reputation. And this study evaluate the financial performance and risk management of OCBC and ESP over 5 years, 2020 until 2024. The purpose is to understand how to bank maintain profitability, capital adequacy, and risk control while also adapting to ESG and digital transformation demands. OCBC and ESP demonstrate strong financial performance with ROA, ROA, reflecting the efficient profit generation, and the bank maintained a solid net interest atau net interest margin, uh, snagling effective core lending operation. On the risk side, OCBC and ESP recorded a high capital adequacy ratio, excellent liquidity cover ratio, and ensuring financial resilience. The bank also committed 37.9 trillion in rupiah to sustainable financing and promoted inclusive banking through its financially fit campaign. I will explain about a vision, mission, and the core value and long-term strategy in OCBC and ESP. The vision is to be the trusted partner to enrich quality of life, and mission they have a mission to deliver excellent customer solution, develop talent leadership, three to create sustainable value for stakeholder, to strengthen prudent banking principles, and a long-term strategy goal. They have five long-term strategies for sustainable growth and profitability, digital transformation, financial inclusion, sustainability, and ESG integration. Financial inclusion, sustainability, and ESG integration, and strategic expansion.
Hello everyone, my name is Nada Metsa and my student number is 104012300061. So today I'm going to present literate review of OCBC the basic concept of banking financial statements. Financial statements in banks provide complete information about their financial condition, performance, cash flow, and change in equity. This information is important for many parties like bank management, investors, regulators, and other stakeholders. There are four key components of financial statement. The balance sheet, which shows assets, liabilities, and equity. The income statement which reports the bank's profits and losses. The cash flow statement which explains cash inflow and outflows. And notes to financial statement which provide detailed explanations behind the numbers. According to research, financial statements are very important in risk-based supervisions because they show the bank's real condition and help identify possible risks. Let's talk about risk management in banking. Banks face several types of risk. First is credit risk, which happens when borrowers can pay back their loans. Then we have market risk, caused by change in interest rates, exchange rates, or other market price. It affects the bank's investment values. Next, operational risk comes from system failures, fraud, or employee mistakes. This can interrupt daily operations. Next, liquidity risk is when the bank doesn't have enough cash or liquid assets to cover short-term obligations. This could lead to a loss of trust from customers. Lastly, there's reputational risk, which happens when the bank's image is damaged due to negative news or customer dissatisfaction, even without financial loss. Okay, to support our understanding of bank risk and performance, there are some key theories. First, intermediation theory explains that banks act like middlemen. They collect funds from depositors and lend them to borrowers while managing the risk. Next, RDBR or risk-based bank or risk. Okay, to support our understanding of bank risk management. Okay, to support our understanding of bank risk and performance, there are some key theories. First, intermediation theory explains that banks act like middlemen. They collect funds from depositors and lend them to borrowers while managing the risk. Next, RBBR or risk-based bank rating is a method to assess banks based on their risk level, governance, earnings, and capital. Next, CAMELS is a common framework used by regulators. It stands for capital, asset quality, management, earnings, liquidity, and sensitivity to market risk. A similar model is RGEC, which focuses on risk profile, good governance, earnings, and capital. Stakeholder theory reminds us that banks must not only serve shareholders but also think about employees, customers, and wider community. Lastly, financial ratio like LDR, NPL, and CIR are used to measure bank health and risk in a simple and quick way. So that's all for me.
I'm going to explain the methodology of this research. First of all is vertical and horizontal analysis. Vertical analysis is analyzing financial statements vertically by compassing financial statements in a single period using income statement and balance sheet. And this analysis is used to calculate the percentage of the elements in the balance sheets to total assets and the elements in the income statement to total income. And next one is horizontal analysis. Horizontal analysis is conducted by comparing OCBC and ISP financial performance between years in order to identify growth or decline trends in key items such as revenue, profit, assets, and liabilities. Next methodology is Basel III framework. Basel III aims to address the weaknesses identified during the crisis by enhancing banks' ability to absorb shocks and improve overall financial system stability. We are going to implement the CAR, LCR, and banking financial performance with Basel III framework. In result and discussion, we are going to calculate the vertical analysis first to know about the percentage change in common size by using the balance sheets. Now, as we can see on the graph, on the graphic, the red lines is for the total liabilities and the red lines is for total equity percentage. Here we can see that every year more than 85% of OCBC's assets are paid for using debt. It is common in banks, but it can be seen as the weakness of the bank. But in this case, OCBC using the debt to expand their business. And the next one is equity. The blue line is around 14 and 15%, and it does not change much, which means the bank is stable in the equity. And the changes year over year are relatively minor, which can indicate consistent financial policy and risk management. The next one is vertical analysis using income statement. Here we are going to search for the common size in net interest income, operating income, income before tax, and net operating income to total operating income. And as you can see on the graph here, net interest income stayed dominant across all years, showing a dip in the bank's core revenue stream. However, it recovered to almost 93% by 2024, indicating strong recovery and stability in interest-based income. And operating income indicates that other sources of income apart from interest are still underdeveloped. And in income before tax and net income both saw significant growth starting in 2022, suggesting a strong improvement in profitability and cost efficiency. The next one is horizontal analysis. Here we are going to analyze the balance sheets first. As you can see here, the calculation shows that cash experienced high volatility, and this shows that unstable liquidity management or changes in reserve strategy. Loans showed steady and consistent growth, suggesting healthy expansion in lending activity over the years, and customer deposits increased steadily, which is a positive sign of customer trust and strong funding base. And in equity, the total equity grew moderately each year, which means the bank continued to build value for shareholders without sudden jumps or drops. The next one is horizontal analysis using the income statement. As we can see here, in 2021, the total operating income of OCBC itself is going down for almost 90%, because as we know that in 2021 we just faced the post COVID-19 pandemic, but after all, OCBC still can manage to made it steadily again by increasing the total operating income for almost 10% in 2022. Next, we are going to talk about the Basel III regulatory framework reference. Here we have the CER, liquidity coverage ratio, and net stable funding ratio, and then the next one is leverage ratio. This shows that in liquidity coverage ratio, which the Basel one require 100%, but OCBC can surpass it by 260.64%, which is almost like 2 times of the requirements, and it's a good sign. And SPR itself for OCBC is 139.53% of the required 100%. And leverage ratio likely exceeds the minimum 3% requirement.
My name is Surati. I'm part of group 2 and my study number is 1040123305882.
Okay, now I will explain discussion methodology. Nah, this methodology and discussion on CAMEL and LGAC framework analysis. The first, CAMEL. Nah, the CAMEL framework analysis is used to assess the level of health, performance, and financial stability of bank, OCBC, and ISP. Nah, third, 5 component, namely capital adequacy, asset quality, management, earnings, and liquidity by using financial ratio, such as capital adequacy ratio, non-performing loans, operating cost, and operating income ratio. Nah, return on asset, return on equity, net interest margin, and loan to deposit ratio. Okay, next, the second, FGAC. The FGAC framework is a bank health assessment approach used by the Financial Service Authority, OJK, and complement the CAMEL analysis with a risk-based and government approach based on 4 components. Risk profile measures the risk ratio such as non-performing loans, loan to deposit ratio, and net interest. Margin good corporate, government, asset qualitatively, earning measure using return on asset, return on equity, operating cost and operating income ratio, and net interest margin. And capital measure using capital adequacy ratio. Okay, next, I will ratio CAMEL. Nah, the CAMEL component, this is capital, asset, management, earnings, liquidity, and indicator is CAR, NPL gross, NPL net, BOPO, ROA, ROA, NIM, LDR, LCR, and CASA ratio. Okay, this is a table analysis CAMEL from 5 year, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 table score for annual report Bank OCBC per year 2020, 2024, 2024. Okay, final analysis based on the financial ratio from 2020 to 2024, Bank OCBC demonstrate a very sound performance according to the CAMEL rating system. And the term of capital, the asset, the management, the earnings, liquidity. So the bank maintains excellent stability with a consistently, the bank maintains excellent stability with a consistently high LCR, and growing CASA ratio. Overall, Bank OCBC can be classified as CAMEL rating 1 and is highly sound due to its strong and improving financial health across all components. Stop lah. Ratio analysis. The first, liquidity ratio. Nah, in liquidity ratio indicator LDR or loan to deposit. Nah, the loan deposit ratio LDR of Bank OCBC saw an increasing trend from 2020 to 2024, starting 7.26% in 2020. Nah, and slightly dashing to 17.18%, 17.88%. Nah, in 2021. Then LDR 2020 to 2024. This is. Nah, this indicates the bank has gradually become more aggressive in channeling its third-party fund into loans, deposit, the interest, the LDR remaining within a safe and healthy range, showing that Bank OCBC maintains a balanced and effectivity liquidity management strategies. Okay, next, the second, capital adequacy ratio or CIR. Nah, indicator KPMM. Nah, the KPMM or capital adequacy ratio of Bank OCBC from 2020 to 2024, remaining consistent high, indicating strong capital adequacy. Nah, This reflects the bank ability strengthen its capital positioning in line with asset growth. Overall, the KPMM value, which consistently exceed regulatory minimum requirements, demonstrate the bank ICBC is well capitalized and capable of hosting risk. Okay, next one. Okay, next, the and the so important for yes, yes, yeah, the this level area trust and this and only 2%. Even the third quality similarly, net area increase from 0.96% to 0.56%. Now, over the same period, reflecting adequate loan loss performing overall, the consistent declining in NPL ratios demonstrates strong credit, risk management, and healthy asset quality at Bank ICBC. Okay, thank you.
I will explain about profitability ratio, and the first one is return on asset or ROA. From the table calculation, ROA from OCBC and ESPRE improved from 1.4% in 2020 to 2.24% in 2024. It's showing efficient use of total asset. And next one, I will explain about the calculation of return on equity or ROE. They have rose significantly from 7.47% in 2020 to 13.04% in 2024. It reflecting improved shareholder returns. And this performance indicates that OCBC and ESPRE managed to grow earning consistently despite external challenge. And next one is I will go with net interest margin or NIM. In 2020, they have 4.42%, and in 2024, they have 5.06%. And it's significantly stronger interest income generation for OCBC and ESPRE. And for the BOPO or operating expense to income ratio, they dropped from 81.30% to 17.99%, which reflects improved cost efficiency overall. These indicators highlight effective management and operational discipline. And you can see the calculation in the slide for the ROA, ROE, NIM, and BOPO.
To talk about the recent news that OCBC, the recent problem that OCBC faced, and how they are going to manage their risk of the problem. The first one is credit risk. The problem is OCBC and ISP selectively disburse loans to maintain NPL. OCBC and ISP demonstrated exceptional credit risk management through its risk appetite statement or RIS alignment and multi-dimensional assessment framework, and the bank achieved impressive 11.6% credit growth while maintaining a low 2.4% NPL ratio, significantly outperforming industry benchmarks.
Will explain about the conclusion for this paper. In conclusion, OCBC and ESP. Wait a minute. In conclusion, OCBC and ESP show consistent financial growth, improve efficiency, and maintenance a strong risk profile from 2022 until 2024. And as you can see, this performance and business management using the analysis and regulatory frameworks, CAMEL and FDHA. And results show consistent improvement in profitability, efficiency, risk control, and strong capital and liquidity indicate financial resilience. And the 2024 measured with Bank Commonwealth expand asset by 12.5%, reflecting the sustainable strategic growth. The study affirms the relevance of integrated financial ratio (ESG) and stakeholder value in assessing bank performance. Next, I will explain about the strategic recommendation from our group. The first one, this strategic recommendation is to maintain and change its performance. We propose the following strategic action. The first one is strange capital planning. It's adopt from Basel III ECAAP to alleviate capital with risk scenario. Second, advanced credit detection. Third, boost cost efficiency. Fourth, deepen ESG integration. Five, manage post-merger risk. And sixth, leverage cash growth. So that concludes and recommendation from our group. That's it from our group. That concludes our presentation. OCBC and ESP is a strong example of how a bank can balance profitability, innovation, and sustainability. And thank you for your kind attention. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.